you so much for joining us this Sunday evening. We're in our second year. We spent some time off, just regrouping and recouping, but we definitely appreciate your viewership. I know Sundays are usually times when you sit down and you relax, but a great many of you tune into our show. I just want to show you some gratitude and say thank you very much. Tonight, for the first part of our hour, we have with us a family, motivational speaker, inspirer. I don't want to use the word guru because sometimes that's too cliché-ish. Cliché-ish. That I don't want to use that word. But definitely someone who I respect, love, and admire, and as a spiritual brother. We're going to be talking about relationships. We're going to be talking about faith, family, and freedom, and what that means and what that looks like in our America with all people. Stay on. We're going to do the intro for some station identification, and we're going to get on with the show. There he is. There he is. Peace, love, and peace, love, and respect, brother.
Bro, you know I'm always excited when I'm in your presence, brother.
What's the good word, man? How you been?
I've been fantastic, brother. But looking at you, I see a reflection of myself, and that just lets me know that there's more steel out here to sharpen steel.
Hey, man, one day at a time. That's all. One day at a time. We only can take it how it come. So,
Yes,
so what's been going on, man? Because throughout your life, man, you've been blessed to take advantage of your intellect and whatever situations you may find yourself in, and expand upon them and turn them into services for people and members of the community. And one of the things that I just wanted to talk to you about just for a few minutes, man, is like, what was your drive and your inspiration to get you where you are right now?
Well, I want to first let you know. I want to greet your audience properly. For those that's in the Islamic community, I greet you in Assalamu alaikum. Those in the Hebrew community, I greet you Shalom alaikum. And those that are in the church or in the community, praise the Lord and Hotep. I want to say, brother, that my drive has always been throughout my entire life to serve the Creator as I understood Him and based on that relationship. So my drive now has even tripled, brother, based on His presence in my life, that I just don't know nothing else to do at this point but to serve Him and to also, more importantly, repair any of the damage that I have done to my soul through this sojourn. So until every breath leaves the day of my death, I'm going to continue to serve Him, because I learned recently, over the past couple of years, the sacred writing says, do not trust yourself until the day of your death. So I have nothing else to rely on but His instructions and His guidance. And my dean is always to serve humanity, those who are poor and in poverty, and those who are lack understanding of the good that they must seek in their life each and every day.
So with that perspective, right? We face so much in society right now. Homelessness, starvation. We and this is not to promote any type of agenda, but we talk about how many people died during COVID. We talk about how many people died during this a fentanyl epidemic and things of that nature. But anywhere between 6 to 9 million children around the world die each year from hunger. So, like, where are we as a society and a community in possessing that level of love and inspiration to want to be of service to humanity?
Well, in my sojourn in my life, I was once homeless. And I had to eat ketchup sandwich, mayonnaise sandwich, sugar sandwich, stale donuts from there used to be a Dunkin' Donuts on Broad Street, now down near Military Park. And they used to put them in the waste can, and the guy used to save some for me at night. There's no excuse whatsoever, brother, that a child in America alone should ever go to bed at night hungry. That means that if we see this kind of suffering, the suffering is a reflection. And I know you said you don't want to touch on any particular agenda, but the only agenda that we have is a righteous agenda. And we need those who are in leadership to uphold that kind of agenda that reflects what the Creator created us to be and to do. So there's no way that people and children and families should be homeless and hungry in this country. But I'm gonna bring it home because I have to say this. It's a darn shame, and you know the colloquialism that I would like to use, but it's a darn shame that we have today this many of elected officials that look like us, this many clergy, this many imams or rabbis or teachers or so-called successful people. You can't take a dime with you when you die. So why would you allow suffering to go on in your community when you control resources? And I know they talk about the Russian invasion, but they quick to send billions of dollars elsewhere. But it ain't their agenda to feed the hungry and the suffering in our community. And that is the problem, brother. That's the problem. So we don't really have taxation without representation, because our representation is not reflected on our dollar power that we have, in our economic power that we have in this country. So therefore we see in this suffering every day. And it's shameful that especially in our community, after all we've been through, that we still gonna allow people to sleep on the bridges. We still gonna allow people to sleep in the street. We still gonna allow people that got mental problems, mental health problems. We still gonna let them continue to wonder. I mean, it's outrageous, man. So what we looking at, excuse my passion on this, brother, but what we looking at is a reflection of the leadership. And they lost this goat, man. They lost the spirit to truly serve our people. They serving them selfish self. And trust me, brother, they're going to have to answer for this.
So what do you think the overall move is going forward? How do we all, come together in that perspective and say enough is enough? What needs to be done?
Well, first you got to get rid of all the sellouts.
You sound like Kevin Jacobs, but go ahead. What you mean by that, family? What do you mean by that? Elaborate.
That's just what I just said. In my Bernie Mac voice.
You sound just like
to avoid for crying. Man, just what I just said, man. We got to hear all this stuff. These fellas got to go, man. We can't have them no more, baby. We can't have them no more. Why? Because our community is reflecting upon them. And that leadership has failed us. They have failed us. That only go with the politicians. That go in the educational system. It goes in the communities. It goes in the churches. It goes in the masjids. It goes in the synagogues. Nobody is extinct from this. They have lost their anointing and their favor in this regard to serve humanity. If we're not going to be lovers of humanity, then ain't nothing you can do for anybody, man. You got to have that kind of passion. So until they return to that level of consciousness and thinking, and your subject is faith, family, freedom, healthy relationships, and we might as well throw in there equality. So if we don't have leadership that's going to hold on and say, I'm going to sacrifice and I'm going to stand on this deen for the rest of my life to make certain that I'm serving my people and not their selfish agenda for them and their little clique that want to continue to oppress the masses of our people. And that's all of humanity, no matter where you see suffering all over the planet.
But my thing is, how do we hold them accountable in that regard? You get what I'm saying? Like, we know what this is about. We understand what this life is about. Oftentimes, people describe it as a hustle. Oftentimes, people describe it as a journey. But where in our hustle and in our journey do we hold those people that have a power and authority to those resources you said? They have access or have decision-making power over those resources that you said. How do we hold them accountable?
Well, Fannie Lou Hamer said it best. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. When you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you're going to make certain that you remove them. They have to be removed. So you can't continue to just procrastinate and let them come and sell you a dream or sell you anything. You can't do that. I mean, so at some point, brother, people got to say, I'm sick and tired. See, what they do is they try to buy up the people. They try to give them jobs and throw them crumbs. And then forget about the condition that's going on in the community. All over this country, you see gentrification, even in our community. But we got folks that got the wealth that can reinvest into our community, but they don't want to reinvest into our community. And then you got other folks coming in that's going to take advantage of the titty because you sitting there and you ain't drinking the milk, so they going to drink the milk of the community. So we got this type of leadership right now, brother. And so, therefore, those like minds like yourself, a brilliant brother Will, always, you have always had that genuine passion for education. You have always had that genuine, because you know that knowledge is real power. See, people think that you coming from a position that you just talking about education. No, you coming from Timbuktu. You coming and I can educate you to be a scholar by sitting under a tree. I don't need no fancy building. So we need to have people in our community that got that kind of passion, that kind of intellect, and that kind of willingness to stand up and fight for what is right, for our faith, for our community, for our families, and etc.
Okay, so now it's fun. That gives me a perfect segue. What do you believe is the state of the human family with all that's going on right now in society?
Brother, we're in a bad state. We are in humanity. This is what's I'm interested in that you touched on that. Humanity has been struggling with the same inclinations today as they were when Adam fell on his deen. So we are still struggling to get back to that point in our inclinations and our thoughts, our attitudes, our perspective on life, our service to the master, the faith that we must have. So when we see this and we see what's going on, it's a struggle, brother, because now you talking about, like when you talk about faith, now you're talking about something totally different. And the problem is that so many of our people have lost the faith, man, to serve the Creator in truth and seek good in each other. You got jealousy and envy. And people gonna be looking at this man. Oh, oh man, now them two got together again. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, oh man, see, because they know what we're talking about is correct. They know what you've been doing on this amazing show you got. The voice of the people.
Thank you.
The voice of the people, and then you put on the end of it, united. Because unity is our greatest weapon to overcome the oppression and the pain and suffering we are seeing. That's why scriptures say, bow down with those that bow down. What does that mean? That means bow down, work with those who are humble and willing to lay down their life for the service of their creator and their people. We can no longer procrastinate. We can no longer sit back idly by and let them continue with this foolishness. It's over now, man. This world right now, brother, this world right now, oh, it's going to see its end. It's going to see its end because they're doing everything that opposes the master of the universe. It's ruling right now. Everything that's in opposition to the master of the universe is in control right now. And they think they're getting away with it. Oh, brother, he got something for him.
And what are some of those things? And just for our viewership, what are some of those things?
Well, where you want to start? Let's say
entertainment.
Let's look at this here. Let's look at this here, right? Let's look at this here. Man and female starts off with marriage. Adam and Eve was a marriage, family. If you look at what they are promoting today, is not that kind of marriage. Not this your thing, man. Do what you want to do. I can't tell you who to socket to. But what I'm telling you is that when we look at family and you watch the shows and you watch what's being televised and you watch what's being portrayed on the imagery, it's not the moral standards of a family or the moral standard of a man and his mate, his female mate. They're promoting everything else but that. It's not going to work, brother. Just not going to work. All of this is going to come to an end. Look at our women today. Man, you got to walk outside and go in the malls and the store with blinders on. Our sisters have bought into this concept, brother, to see who can wear the least amount of clothing and look the most attractive.
You sound like Kevin Jenkins, man.
You know, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? He may call me up every now and then to get some pointers. I don't know. I'm not gonna
Oh man, yeah. Oh man. I guess I'm for individuals' freedoms, though. Emmanuel. I'm for people's individual freedoms. But
let me say something.
Because we all have to answer to the creator. We all got to answer to the creator.
That's my point. Listen to me now. See, that's the beauty of the master of the universe. He give you a choice. He give you a choice. He give you the free will. He give you what you said. What are we talking about? Family, faith, freedom, healthy relationship. He give you the choice. You go ahead. You can do it your way. But divine scripture say, and it continues to say for a reason, the straight and narrow path. The straight and narrow path. Now, those of us who are willing to take that sacrifice, that means you want to sacrifice yourself. You want to deny yourself of the things that's promoted in this world and say, I'm going to go that straight and narrow path. Because you got to answer for that, man. Don't think you don't have to answer for it. You got to answer for it. And that's why so many people, man, they got to come back here. That's another conversation. They got to come back. because they got to prepare the damage that they have done to their soul and the damage through the acts of what they have done to their souls to what they have done to humanity as a whole. Just like these rappers, just like these singers, you running up in here, you're a leader. You performing before thousands. And you teaching defecation? That means every soul that wants to pick up and be like you gonna have to answer for it.
But what if they don't look at it like that? What if that's
it doesn't matter, brother. You want to know something? It doesn't matter. You know, let me say something. See, when you say faith, man, you gave me that subject tonight about faith. I believe in my Creator, and I believe that I got the answer for what I do. And the way I feel like it right now, I want to be a part of the world to come. I want to be in paradise. I want to be in heaven. I want to be in the world of what is known also as the world of absolute. So I don't have time to play games to just want to do what everybody else is doing and buy into it when I know that it opposes the will of the Creator. See, you on your dean, brother. Brother Willie, you on your dean. Ain't nobody gonna take you off your dean at this point. They gotta kill you, brother. Literally. To stop you from doing what you're doing. Why? Because you know that you're doing what is righteous and you know that you're doing what is pleasing to the Creator.
I try my best.
Absolutely. That's why we, pray 3, 5, 7 times a day. Depending on what your belief system is. Focusing on Him constantly. Checking yourself, seeking repentance for it. Why do we do that? See, we have to continue to be the examples, Brother Willem. We got to continue to be the examples. And prayerfully that somebody, because it only takes one to save 1,000. Through your example, 1,000 can be saved. And that's what we got to do. Osman Sharif, the Sheikh, Abu, he used to say all the time, and I'm for you, some of y'all don't know who I'm talking about Frank Simmons, Frank 9X, okay? Those that's listening in Newark. Osman used to always say this: you got to keep teaching until they get it. Mm-hmm. You got to keep teaching until they get it. Mm-hmm. And that's why he always told those that came across his path and he saw them having a sincere heart to serve the people. We made a cast iron dip that still nothing hovered over us but God and a host of angels. And we got to continue to carry that, just like Sharif did. That's what we built from, man. We built from them kind of men with that kind of cloth. Not these punks you see today. These cowards you see today. They're not standing up for faith. They're not standing up for family. They're not standing up for freedom, equality, and healthy relationships. They're abusing our women, neglecting our women. I went to the restaurant with my wife in Atlanta. And a young girl, they're playing music in the restaurant. This is in a dining restaurant. She gets out of her chair and starts twerking. What do they call it? Twerking. I told my wife, I can't sit here looking this way. I'm trying to have my waffles. I'm trying to have my waffles. I ain't trying to waffle that. I ain't trying to flip that. And then people in the restaurant putting money in her pants. She going by other folks twerking, and they women even tapping her behind. I'm like, look at this foolishness. And that's what we are dealing with today, brother.
But it's everywhere. It's on TV, it's in movies, it's in records. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
And you want to know something? And that's why this is important, this form that you have to continue to open the eyes of our people and in humanity to what is going on and to continue to speak against it, even if you got to be like the prophet Noah for 40 years. If you got 40 more years of your life that the Creator bless you, or 40 seconds or 40 minutes, you got to continue to speak truth to power. And we're talking about wicked power today.
All right, I got to get political with you for 1 minute, and you know that's who I am. So I need some
I do my
context.
best.
I know.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I don't deal with these politics. I don't deal with these
I know,
tricks
but
and these politics.
but it's a overall subject that everyone has an opinion about. So what do you feel about the Supreme Court and how they this is a few weeks old now, but with the Supreme Court and Roe v. Wade?
Let me say this to you. You got what is called, and this I have to tell you this because I'm a man of faith. You got common law. That's this law down here, common. I don't govern my life according to this law. I respect it. I won't break it. The law I follow is the laws prescribed in the instructions by the master of the universe. Ain't got nothing to do with this down here. Because this is all politics. Like you said, it's politics here. They know it's a game. All they did is basically move the power from the ruling from the federal and left it up to the states. Y'all decide that. We don't want to make that decision anymore. But more importantly, how important is human life? Under certain circumstances. But how important is human life? Now, people can choose what they want to choose. I'm going to say this, because I'm a man of faith. If it's rape and incest, hey, everything else, I got to be with the Creator on that, brother. Murder is murder. Oh my God, how do you look at it? So for me, I understand what this can bring about and how people are displeased. But they better understand that the Creator is displeased. Let me tell you something. He's lifting the veil on the earth. It's just cracking just a little bit. Because we got to come in line with Him. If it ain't line with Him, brother, I ain't got nothing to do with it. That's why I ain't trying to deal with no politician. Somebody, people call, man, when you going to run for office? Never. Never. Because you can't serve that and maintain your consciousness and your spirituality and morality based on your faith. You got to compromise. And what it is that we talk, your subject tonight, faith, family, freedom, equality, and healthy relationships. Politicians make strange bedfellows. We can't sleep with the devil. We can't sleep with the enemy and be okay. That's my take on it, brother.
All right. So, real quick. This whole ordeal we've had a pandemic, and we dealt with the overall Black Lives Matter thing. But you always get into this clash where individuals who on both sides said, well, if Black Lives Matter, when is black on black crime going to cease? What's your what is your interpretation? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You got it to a curveball. But overall, what is your interpretation of that? Understanding and divide and how we need to come together. I guess to save us within humanity. I mean, for 50 something people to get shot in a weekend, or even in Newark for 12 people to get shot in a few days. I mean, it's crazy. There's a lot going on. So, do you have any ideas for solutions? What do you think, in your opinion, is the overall problem that we can't come together to understand that, all Black lives have to matter, even, Black lives that are taken by Black people. You get what I'm saying? So, what's your opinion?
How how could your enemy respect you and you don't respect each other?
Mm.
Your enemies see you killing each other every day, all across this country. So you get that with 10,000 of us can be killed by us, and 500 of us can be killed or in questionable shootings by the police. But we're more enraged about the 500 than we are about the 10,000. That's a problem. You ain't ready to protest and march, and a 2-year-old baby sitting in the back seat of a car because her daddy drove to McDonald's to get her a Happy Meal, and then you come by and you shooting up the McDonald's and kill the 2-year-old baby, and that's supposed to be acceptable? No, brother, that's not acceptable. It's not acceptable for this killing that and then people, this old thing of blaming the victim. Yeah, we know the oppressor, but there's a whole lot more of us now in power and a lot more of us now making some real money and etc. So there's certain things that's no longer excused. If you kill somebody, I don't care if you're the police or somebody black on black, the same level of rage should be directed to them. And that's the problem here. People, we can no longer make these excuses, brother. I'm going to bring this up, right? Because I was born and raised in the Nation of Islam. And that little old man with a 3rd grade education said, the basket of knowledge is empty. We know ourselves. The basket of knowledge is empty. So there's no way for a person to not know the difference between good and bad, right and wrong. And when we see this killing, I agree with you, brother. When we see us killing each other like this, and the cameras is gone, the marches is gone, the rage want to protest and burn up everything, where's that? But we see a questionable shooter, and rightfully we should be outraged about that. But we need to be more outraged with the brutality and the genocides that is happening in our community today on us. And that's
Okay.
I can't say it any plainer than that.
I'm with you on that. So now, what about how do we, in those issues, there are a lot of things that have to do with mental health. How do we address those in our community, especially in black and brown communities where it may be a taboo? Because now remember, you were in your professions now. You provided services with people to help them get themselves together mentally,
Absolutely.
physically, off of addictions and things of that nature, help them find jobs. So you were a steward of this. You've done these things, So
Yes, sir.
what I'm saying is, I don't want us to mature out of compassion. So how do we get ourselves to, being supportive of programs and initiatives of things that help us, because mental health definitely is an issue.
Well, let me say this on that last question too. We have to expose those that's hustling police brutality cases and
Okay.
gaining wealth from it. You
Okay.
understand what I'm saying? They bring the media attention to the case to build the case so that they make money.
Okay.
That's the other thing on that's going on with that. It's profitable to, it sell newspaper, it dramatize things, it's profitable to do that. There's no profit in us trying to save each other. So people need to understand what that's about. Now, the question that you raised, it's going to take the continuation, Brother Willer, of what you're doing right now and what you continue to do. There are people just like you all over this country. That's on the front line. They fighting every day. They helping every day. And we got to develop a network, really, that empower this body of people. And then, like for an example, you got some very strong folks right there in the city. But if the leadership that controls City Hall opposes them, they're not going to see the good because they're threatened by them. So the people got to stand up. The only thing that make a bad man bad is because a good man don't stand up. So the good men and the good women have to continue to stand up and continue to teach and teach until the people get it. That's why we did with our human development curriculum and training that you're talking about, because mental health is the problem. And so until we begin to address those problems also and divert the level of energy and resources that's needed there. But the thing is this, brother, people got to want to pray. People got to want to change. And at some point, if they don't want to change, you got to work and build those that want to change and want to do better. And the thing is with these misleaders, we're going to have to continue to speak out and continue to address the conditions that's going on. I tell people, man, why don't you come to us? Man, when y'all get serious, you call me. Don't come to me if you ain't serious. If you ain't serious, don't mess with me. I sit here and do what I do and tend to what I'm doing and trying to make it work. Because if you're not serious and I got too much passion to get, to go into it, and then you going out the back door because Joker done offered you a job or a little grant.
But isn't that the name of the game now, though? I know we would talk about mental health, but then we got here. But isn't that the name of the game?
I told you I get rid of these sellouts, baby. Then I told you.
Yo, Kevin Jenkins would love to be on with you right now, boy. Yo, y'all see you sound just like him, man.
We gotta get rid of these sellouts. Listen, I ain't talking about. I mean, we trying to do it through diplomacy. You're right, and we trying to really circumvent them and just go to the people, because by trying to go to them, they're gonna stall you. They're gonna prevent you if they can't control you. So yes, that mental health issue and the knowledge of self is what is needed. Oh, somebody said stand strong to the building of a New Jerusalem. You got that right, buddy.
let me get back to mental health for a minute. So, what do you think the overall focus needs to be for us as a society? When it comes to those mental health things, because oftentimes you see people ridiculed for them. We don't want to talk about the mental health disparages and disparities that we have from this pandemic. And if you censor it a little bit more when you talk about our school populations, they will, hit very hard. Suicide has increased. People really are, in some bad spaces in their life. Good people, but just may need help and support. So, what do you see, needs to be done? What do you think that needs to be done to help them get back to where they need to be?
I think the same services that we see that is given in other communities when there's a school shooting, immediately doctors and therapists and counselors are rushing to that school to provide for those kids. But our kids see shootings and killings every day on the street corners, and nobody is there to help them process that. So, you got to understand, until we return to the street corners and begin to have that kind of love and care, because I don't see the government doing it. So, it's time to take the church out of those buildings and the masjids and the synagogues and the temples out of those buildings onto the corner. It's time to take the prayer meeting to the corner. It's time to show them. See, you got to show the application of what your faith is. And if you show the application of it, then we got to continue to show, like these young, like for an example, right? I was working with a kid. work with a few. But this one young man, he had a lot of problems. A lot of problems because his father wasn't in his life. He saw when his father was in life, he saw his mother being abused. He saw his father, in and out of prison, things of that nature. And the kid became very angry. So I worked with him and worked with him and worked with him. One day he says to me, he said, man, I wish you was my dad. I said to him, I said, brother, I said, young man, let me tell you something. I'm here with you for the rest of your life. I'm going to be a part. And so, and matter of fact, it was two of them. And my wife is the one who brought him to me. People in the school system gave up on him, Brother Willer. They said they couldn't control their emotions. They couldn't behave properly. They bipolar. They schizo. They this, that, and that. All kinds of labels they put on them. They troublemakers. Them young men graduated high school. They're in their 20s now. They're doing extremely well. And that's the kind of love that these kids are going to need, and our people in our community is going to need. Now, in reference to if these politicians are serious that control government funding, just like they sending all those billions of dollars over there because of Russia, they need to send those billions of dollars quickly in our community so that they could get these proper services. They can get mental health services. They can get the proper nutritional services, the real dietary services that they need. But until we are willing to do that, we're going to continue to have this conversation, brother. Other than the work that you're doing every day to help people and educate people and lift them up, these I don't see it coming from this leadership today. Unless, like I tell you, unless you're going to remove them.
Now,
unless you're going to remove them.
All right. So now, what about people who
got to
think...
overthrow the government? I ain't talking about like January the 6th.
You ain't talking about insurrection. You ain't talking about insurrection.
I ain't talking about
insurrection.
Right. But what we do have to do, we got to have that kind of energy in a more productive and positive form so that we can bring about the changes that we need. Because right now, man, this president, what we see today, I don't see it happening. Not coming from them.
I got you, man. I got you. Real quick, man. It's 7:42. I got you for a few more minutes. So, I wanna hit on,
That much time went by already?
Yes, sir. 7:43, sir. 7:43. We've been on 43 minutes.
Time, brother.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I have to definitely get to Mother Lisa Mr. Parker, Central Board District Leader. We got some community issues like you were talking about City Hall and holding people accountable. She getting ready to go in right now. so at the second half of the hour. So I just want to say thank you all for being on. But I got to get here, man. We talked a lot about a lot of different things, but all of that is nothing without economics. Building a community, maintaining a great deal of things. I know faith is an absolute, but I don't know what you believe in. But if economically, there you don't control your power base, then a lot of that healing you're talking about is for naught. If you don't control the food sources in your community, or the medical care facilities in your community, or the schools in your community, and I mean like actively being involved, it's all for naught. So how do we? What I want to get to is, how do we hold them accountable? What are the different forms of accountability that we have? Because a lot of people say voting doesn't work.
Let me say this to you. You want to end racism in our community? The only thing they can do is give us economics. You want to return on your vote? We got to unite and demand economics. We want our fair cut like everybody else. We want to be at the table just like everybody. Don't be talking about giving us no little penny jobs. We don't want that no more. Economics is what's going to change a whole lot. And so those of us in our communities that have economics, we have to begin to come together and reinvest. And because what moves this country, know what they respect? They respect their money. And you're totally correct. If we don't have an economic agenda, you keep talking about voting, are we done that? No, now we got to put a dollar sign on our vote. Not going to some of these sellouts. No, we talking about economic packages that build wealth in our community. We want land. We want states to be turned over to us. We want to produce our own agriculture because we got black farmers all across this country and they're at the bottom of the list when it comes to getting their cut to produce product. So we're talking about real economics at this point, man. We want a real piece of the pie. For our vote has a value. If you're not going to give us if it's not an economic package, a real stimulus package in our community, because we know you ain't going to give us reparations. So we got to now move to the point to really put the pressure on. We ain't voting for nobody if it ain't no economic package for us. I don't care who they are. You'll be a district leader. They ain't voting for you. You'll be a county committee person. I'm not voting for you. What is your plan for economics to come in this neighborhood? I don't care if you say, I want my cut that guarantees my streets going to be paved, that's guaranteed I'm going to have police officers patrolling my community, that's guaranteed that the garbage is going to pick up correctly, that's guaranteed if there's an abandoned building in our community, if you're going to give it to these folks coming from New York and other places to come buy these properties tax-free, I want you to give them to us tax-free that we can redevelop them, create our own community center right in our community, our own homeless shelter for those that live in our neighborhood and in our community. If they get burnt out, it can't pay the energy bill or what have you, we need to have those kind of understanding. If you go, for an example, you go to East Ward in Newark, New Jersey, you can't find nothing abandoned down there with those Portuguese. They make sure something goes on, we doing X, Y, Z with it. So what do? They do it for their people that's coming in and moving in, and they make sure that it's provided for them. That's what we need to do all over this country and in all of our communities. So therefore, if we're not doing that, Brother Willard, it doesn't make sense to me. Why do we got to go, since when, and I ain't going to take no, since when the Koreans know how to fry chicken better than we? Since when they know how to fry whiteys better than we do? They making cheesesteak sandwiches. A cheesesteak sandwich couldn't touch a steak and take. They selling our bean pies with a markup on it. Since when did that happen? That's why we got to go back, and we got to go back to the point where we are developing everything and controlling the economics in our community. We need to take total control. Total control. Just like, and it's okay, because you go everywhere else, everybody else got total control. Hispanics, praise be, God praise them. You go in their stores, they got their own product. They got their own distribution. We have to create that kind of freedom with our dollar power. So therefore, let it turn over multiple times in our community before it leaves our community. Because people got their stimulus checks, and what did they do? What did it stimulate?
Well, inflation. That's what it stimulated. It stimulated inflation. It stimulated gas. It stimulated gas prices. It stimulated a lot for a lot of people.
Because all they did was gave you money so you could give back to them. You didn't use it to
Yeah.
stimulate nothing in you. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care if it's gas. I don't care if it's food prices. Since when? Since when it's hard to grow rice and corn? But the prices have gone skyrocket. The cereal boxes are small with less cereal in them. So they know what they're doing because we are the biggest consumer to everyone else except ourselves. We the biggest consumer. And you want to know something, brother? It's been 100-year plan to keep us this way. Do brands and labels. It's been 100-year plan because you move from one slave plantation to another. So the greatest weapon that we have is our unity and our buying power. And until we wake up and realize that, they're going to continue to suck the wealth out of the titty of our community.
I had about 4 more questions, but when you said the wealth out of the city of the community, I was my head started hurting a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, wait. Oh, I'm gonna be banned tomorrow. You a kill boy, you a cover Jesus, boy. You be banned tomorrow, man. No, but
you brought me on for a reason, brother.
Hey, yes, I did, man, and I appreciate you so much, man.
I tell people, most folks don't invite me back. They're like, "Oh no, he done messed us all up."
Oh, nah. We don't do that here, man. We don't do that here. And you know, we got about 7 minutes. Last but not least, man. Our young men in our community are, you know, facing a lot of challenges. We all are. Men in general, I like to often believe that you know, we're dealing with the, you know, a direct. I want to be. I don't want to be politically correct. I just want to be accurate in my thoughts. We're dealing with a direct assault on masculinity, and it was first masked as trying to deal with toxic masculinity, then acceptance, and all these different things, down to the point where they're even using kids to talk about sexuality and gender identity and things of that nature. And you know, as we get out of here, for this first hour, you know, what is your perspective and what do you think needs to be done for all people and their viewpoints to be respected? But you know, you also say, well, you know, your rights matter, so do those who don't live the same lifestyle as you.
Let me tell you something, brother. This is our biggest challenge because actually there's an agenda to wipe us out. And it's moving rapidly, not only in this country, but across this world. See, there's nothing new under the sun. I'm a man of faith. If you read Genesis 19 and the book of Judges 19, what's written thousands of years ago, you see it happening again right now before our eyes. And people are sleeping on it. Genesis 19 is Sodom and Gomorrah. Judges 19 is the same thing, but the men came to the house and told the owner of the house, we want the male guests that's in your house, because they came there to rape the male, not the woman that was with him or his daughter. We're seeing the same thing today, that men are being raped spiritually and psychologically of their manhood for those of us that are men. So they want to make you feel wrong for talking about your manhood as a man. You can't stand on your deen. I'm going to stand on mine. Because I don't give a rat's behind in my burning match. I don't want to hear that, brother. I ain't trying to hear that. This here America, y'all better go somewhere else with that. I ain't trying to hear that. Because now they want to push their agenda and knock your agenda or knock the creator as you see him and understand out of the box. So now men it's like you want to question your manhood. Or if I talk about manhood too much, there's a problem. If I talk about my masculinity, there's a problem. Oh, you this, that. No, I'm talking about me. You talk about you. You got the freedom to talk about you. Then I have the freedom to express about me as a man. I'm a man's man. That means I roll with men built with a certain cloth. You can't wipe us off the planet. But there's an agenda to wipe off the planet of you talking to young men about being a young man. No, he got the freedom to do what he want to do. What are you talking about? Words and languages make minds. So if words and languages make mine, if I see a young man, I'm going to speak power into him. I'm not going to speak softness into him because he's a young man. He's built to be a certain way. I'm an alpha man. I'm built a certain way. Not all men are alpha. We're not monolithic. But I'm an alpha man. You feel what I'm saying? But for the most part, I'm what you call an apex alpha man. I surround myself with alpha men. Steel sharp as steel. So I ain't got no time for you. If that's what you want to do, that's your thing. But don't knock mine because it doesn't agree with yours. You can't invade my space. I'm not in your space. So don't try to impose your will and your desires in my space. So now that move that's why I said, if you look at the shows today, they're not showing men being men. They trying to take us out the script. And I'm not talking about a color. I'm talking about manhood, period, in humanity. You follow what I'm saying? I'm talking about being a man, being like David, being like Prophet Muhammad, being like Daniel, being like Jeremiah, Nehemiah, Abraham. I'm talking about men now. So therefore, they're trying to wipe us out of being men. We can't allow that to happen. We cannot allow that to happen. I'm sorry, whatever your agenda is, that's your thing. But mine require me to stand upright. It don't require me to bend over. It don't require me to always weeping and crying. It requires me to stand up and put my prayers to work and stand on my deen and stand on the principles of truth. And I can't do nothing but do that. So I don't go out here knocking people. People want to do what they do. You do what you do. Don't come over here invading my space. But you understand what I'm saying? Don't do that to me. I mean, I'm not trying. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. But I'm going to be over here doing what I got to do. Because, something that the sacred writings say. The sacred writings says that 2/3 of this world population will not be a part of the world of color. 2/3. Because 99.9% of this world is built upon a lie and deception. So me as a man, Brother Willa, that's why you and our family, we can always jail. Because we men.
Well, brother, I appreciate you so much, man. I appreciate the time.
But you want to know something? They don't understand when you see these young brothers out here and they ready to put a gun in their hand.
That's what
and
I'm
they ready to take somebody else's life. They doing that because that makes them feel like they got some power. And they got a negative willpower to snuff the life out of somebody. I'm going to kill that. You feel what I'm saying? That's power that they feel. Can you imagine what kind of power they can have if they got the faith of righteousness and on a deed of truth and sought knowledge and power and had a consciousness to do good. And if they arm themselves with that kind of weaponized understanding, and they know that they God, as they see him and understanding, got their back. They know that they God got their back. And when you know your God got your back, can't no man come against you, because you know that your God is with you. That's the power we need to give them. That's the consciousness and the mindset that we must teach them. So don't come to me and make me feel like I'm going to feel bad about being a man. I'm a man, brother, and I'm going to be a man until the breath leaves my body. I'm not going to compromise that for your agenda. That's your thing, your freedom to choose. But I choose to be the man that I was created to be. And I'm going to keep that fire in me.
Okay. All right.
I ain't mean to shout out you, but you already know that point.
Yo, hey, you my man,
real,
so I
brother.
get it. You my dude, man. I get it. We family, so it is what it is, man. Hey, listen, I got to get ready for Miss Parker. She's coming on the next hour. It's 8:01. I appreciate you, man.
Your listening audience. I appreciate you, brother, your listening audience, and I pray that something that I said, somebody will be able to carry it far beyond this dispensation in time. I thank you, brother, for your passion, your love, your commitment, your dedication, your sincerity to continue to work and pray and help the less fortunate, and keep the pressure, brother. Keep the pressure on them. Don't get weary for one moment. Keep that pressure on them.
I'm working on it.
Brother,
I'm working on it.
let me tell you something, brother. Do you want to, and I go on this point, keep that pressure, because pressure busts pipes. Pressure busts pipes. You feel
I know,
what I'm
brother.
saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Busts pipes. So keep that pressure on, and I pray that the Creator, man, will continue to bless you, because you're a powerful voice. You're a powerful voice.
Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate you, brother. Immanuel, benAvraham, my family, my brother. Thank you, man.